12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
Up first tonight, we're following breaking news. A Scottsdale police officer has been injured in what the department is calling a critical incident. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Mark Curtis. Caribe's off tonight. Police say this happened at an industrial complex near Pima and Bell Roads, not far away from the Scottsdale airport. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is live in North Scottsdale with what we know so far. Gabby?
Well, Mark, very limited information has been shared with us at this hour. Police have not yet said how that officer was injured or how they're doing tonight. Take a look behind us. Police have blocked off several streets in this industrial complex. Sky 12 giving us a bird's eye view of that investigation. You can see a large police presence. They've since pushed us back, but earlier we could see several police cars and detectives walking around a building. Scottsdale police say they responded to this critical incident around 7 o'clock this evening. They have not yet told us the nature of the incident or what led up to their response. Police are asking people to avoid the area, but say there is no threat to the community. We're expecting to hear from a spokesperson in a matter of minutes, and we'll share that information with you as soon as we get it. For now, reporting live in Scottsdale, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thanks.
We found that the Phoenix Police Department and the City of Phoenix engage in a pattern or practice of using excessive force, unlawfully detaining, ticketing, and arresting homeless people, discriminating against Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous people in its policing enforcement.
Those are the allegations against the Phoenix Police Department after a multiple years long investigation by the Department of Justice. We've been combing through the report since it was first released this morning. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono is live outside the Phoenix Police Department tonight with details on the DOJ's findings when it comes to use of force. Bianca?
Mark, the Phoenix Police Department received the report the same time the general public did today. The first finding listed that the Phoenix Police Department uses excessive force, including unjustified deadly force. The DOJ listed out a number of incidents allegedly showing that. A bombshell report detailing the U.S. Department of Justice's years-long investigation into the Phoenix Police Department, concluding the department engages in a pattern or practice of conduct that deprives people of their rights.
The report itself wasn't necessarily surprising.
That's because a case attorney Kwesi Smith litigated is detailed as an example of Phoenix PD's use of excessive force.
This is clearly not an incident that required the use of excessive force.
In September of 2022, police reported seeing 34-year-old Ali Osman throwing rocks at their patrol cars, calling in a request for a non-lethal stun bag to assist. But as the DOJ report notes, they didn't wait. Instead, officers approached Osman, ultimately shooting and killing him. An officer was terminated earlier this year for his role in the shooting.
If you would have just waited and used some restraint, if a supervisor would have been listening, Mr. Osman would still be alive.
Another case in the report, the shooting death of Jacob Harris in 2019, who was shot in the back while running away. The report notes it's an example of police unreasonably delaying rendering aid to someone they have shot.
For 9 minutes, officers failed to provide medical aid.
It's something Jacob's father could not comprehend.
They wanted him to die.
The report also alleges a departmental failure to adequately discipline officers who engage in misconduct, writing, even when discipline is issued, it may be reversed. Ryan Whitaker was shot and killed after answering the door of his apartment with a gun in his hand, even after putting it down and following commands. It resulted in a $3 million settlement for Whitaker's family, but the officer who shot him was terminated, then reinstated.
The department is either in process or has already implemented several significant reforms.
Daryl Kriplin, president of the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association, says changes have already been in the works, referring to Phoenix PD's 53-page Road to Reform released earlier this year, calling the federal investigation a farce.
We have been self-correcting, self-identifying, self-correcting agency. So I think it's a work in progress, but I think the department itself is moving in the right direction.
Interim Chief Michael Sullivan says the incidents highlighted in the report represent a very small percentage. They're in the process of reviewing the findings.
You don't get better unless you look at criticism that we have, and this report is very critical of our police department.
As for Smith, he hopes the release of the report represents a fresh start, ultimately bringing the community closer together.
This is a great opportunity for Chief Sullivan and the mayor and the city council, and it's my hope that they take full advantage of it.
All right, Bianca, so now that the report is out and city leaders are starting to go through it and city lawyers will start looking through this, what happens then?
Mark, it is no secret federal officials want a consent decree, a legally binding performance plan, while police leaders are categorically opposed to that. The union president said today that would crush morale in a department that's already hundreds of officers short. The DOJ acknowledges the police department has been making changes and improvements on their own, but they say the reality is it's just not enough, so only time will tell what will happen next, Mark.
All right, Bianca Bono reporting for us. Bianca, thanks. 12 News will have continuing coverage of the DOJ report both on air and online. You can also read the entire report on 12news.com. Tonight we have an update on the Rose Fire. All evacuation orders have now been lifted. These are side-by-side videos of the fire from yesterday and this morning. Just in the past few hours, we've learned that crews now have it 20% contained and the fire has stopped growing. The Department of Forestry and Fire Management says a total of 15 structures were destroyed. 7 of those were homes. Tomorrow will be another 12 News Weather Impact Alert Day as we continue to bake under this excessive heat warning. It affects the firefighters and all of us. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley is here with more on how hot we're going to get. And Lindsay, it sounds like folks may want to make plans for indoor activities for Father's Day.
Yes, it's going to be hot even up in the high country for Father's Day this year. We're talking 80s and 90s, and whenever we issue a weather impact alert day, you are going to see red bars, and that's because we have the excessive heat warning that's been extended through 8 p.m. on Sunday. Tomorrow we hit 109. It is going to be a full sunny day. Today we had a few clouds out there. We're up to 113 then on Saturday and 112 on Sunday. Morning lows will be in the low to mid 80s around the valley. Here's exactly where that excessive heat warning has been extended. So just the lower deserts, but not western Arizona and not even down toward Tucson. So you can see parts of Maricopa County and Pinal County through 8 p.m. Sunday night. Temperatures as hot as 114. Here's a look at our Father's Day forecast. Here in the valley, 112. It is going to be a bright and sunny day all across the state on Father's Day. But check out the rim country, 94 degrees. Out in the White Mountains, we're looking at 89, and northern Arizona, 84. Mark?
Okay, Linz, thanks. A man is in critical condition after being shot in West Phoenix. Police blocked off an Arco gas station near 27th Avenue in McDowell shortly after 2:30 this afternoon as they investigated. Officers say they detained a man at the scene connected to the shooting. Tonight, we're working to learn what led up to the gunfire. Also tonight, a Valley mother is talking to 12 News about the death of her son, who died after a random attack outside a convenience store. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra shows us how Dakari Hamilton is being remembered.
Every time I see him, he just be smiling.
23-year-old Dakari Hamilton had a kind heart and love for his family.
Full of smiles, full of laughter, curiosity, loved, and will be missed.
His family bewildered after learning Hamilton died in what appears to be a random attack.
Just lost, just numb, just still numb, just angry, sad, frustrated, just confused, everything.
Hamilton went to the store to get snacks last Saturday night. Court documents reveal surveillance video shows Hamilton coming out of the store and having a brief conversation with a man identified by police as 37-year-old Robert Downs. As Hamilton turned to leave, Downs allegedly stabbed him from behind and stabbed him several more times after he fell to the ground. Hamilton died while trying to run away.
My son never even seen it coming. I hope that he didn't feel no pain.
Police say Downs admitted to the stabbing.
I guess I was in disbelief at first. Something don't want to believe.
Hamilton's family wants his death to serve as a reminder life is too short.
There's a chance that, not everyone's going to make it home. So just make sure everyone tells your people you love them before you go.
In Phoenix, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
Thanks. If you're ever in downtown Phoenix, you are bound to see a driverless car. They seem to be everywhere. Most of them are Waymos. But as 12 News journalist Brenda Lipinski reports, hundreds of Waymo cars are now being recalled after a recent crash in Phoenix.
Last month, 12 News was the only station at this scene where a Waymo self-driving vehicle crashed into a telephone pole. Since that incident, Waymo recalled more than 600 of their cars for software map updates.
Waymo has a challenge in that they have done an incredible amount of testing and they have a technology which is amazingly safe, but it's not perfect.
Andrew Maynard, a professor of advanced technology at ASU, explains the recall.
In this case, it's called a recall because the cars are physically taken back to a central location where they're updated, the software update is updated, the maps are updated on them, the way that they navigate is updated. We're very used to updates with software, with electronic devices, so why wouldn't you expect it with a vehicle with a powerful computer in?
In a statement delivered to 12 News, Waymo says the recall was voluntary, saying in part, "As we serve more riders in more cities, we will continue our safety-first approach, working to earn the trust of our riders, community members, regulators, and policymakers. You can still request a Waymo. I took one today." A safety recall report from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says Waymo made the software updates between May 29th and June 6th, so there was no impact on their operations. The company is still under investigation for crashes happening between December 2022 and February of this year. The question remains, what do people think, and will they continue to ride?
I'd still take another one, just because it's pretty similar to human driving, if not a little bit better.
I think now instead of going across town, I might go maybe 2 miles.
And I think it's always worth bearing that in mind. The technology has to get better, and we're seeing problems where it's not as good as it could be, but still, human drivers aren't the best drivers around.
Brenda Lipinski, 12 News.
Brenda, thanks. Still ahead.